Hi, I'm Sara Cullin. I am the owner of a local business called Signal Tree Creative Communications, and I also serve as a board member for the Greater Harrison Chamber of Commerce. And our mission at the Chamber, as invested members and volunteers, is to promote growth and prosperity here in Harrison and throughout the region. And right now, that means helping our local companies tackle their toughest issue of hiring. And we're doing that through a lot of different angles. If you visit our website, greaterharrisoncc.com, you'll see our chamber calendar, and we have some upcoming business at breakfast sessions that might interest you. Whether you're struggling to find employees or looking to form new connections in the business community, these are a great opportunity to join us. So I encourage you to visit our website, take a look at that chamber calendar, and you can also sign up for our email newsletter and get business news delivered to your email inbox every month. And you can also connect with us on social media. Investment from our chamber members is integral to our success in fulfilling our mission. And this month we want to recognize our Member of the Month, Cincinnati State Technical and Community College, located in Harrison at the Cincinnati West Airport. We're going to be joined by JamieLyn Johnson, the Workforce Development Coordinator for Southwest Local Schools, and she has some great insight into how the school district is helping prepare the future workforce, as well as providing an opportunity for people who are looking for work now. Well, with me today is JamieLyn Johnson. She is the Workforce Development Coordinator here at Southwest Local Schools. Jamie, thank you for being here, and thank you for all the work that you're doing with students in the community.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
And we're really looking forward to working together on the Harrison Job Fair September 30th. Now, this is something that really started a long time ago. The Career Tech Experience Day for students. So
Yes.
Let's start out. Tell me a little bit about that. What does that day entail for students?
Okay, so that day entails we bring in the Great Oaks, and they bring in some of their labs. And what the students get to do is actually, instead of just walking around and having information told to them, they get to do more hands-on events. So a couple years ago, pre-COVID, we had welders come and they actually weld it together. The kids were able to watch them weld. A couple of times the kids were actually able to kind of go back and be able to hold some of the equipment. We've had the equestrian here, so they got to learn how to take care of a horse, and that included picking up some of the stuff that came from the horse from the ground, which some of the kids were like, ooh, we didn't realize that was part of it. So that was kind of an interesting part. But really what it is the kids are always sitting down and having a lot of information given to them, and they never get to actually use their hands. And I think a lot of the times we need to realize that we learn better actually physically doing something than just being told. So that's what this event's all about, is them being able to physically handle some of the equipment that they might be able to do if they decide to go into a trade.
What a great experience. And this starts at the junior high level, right?
Correct. With sixth graders, they come over in the morning, sixth grade, seventh, eighth, then we take a break for lunch. Then we bring in all four grades at the high school, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th in the day. They all get the experience, because you don't only get to go to Great Oaks if you're a sophomore going into your junior year, but it's also for adults. So leading into the job fair is where this kind of stemmed from, is, hey, we need to open the doors for the adults in the community, because they also have these opportunities once they graduate high school.
Right. Well, I think for the students, I mean, what a much more interesting way to get exposed to different career opportunities, whether or not you're college bound after high school. It sounds a lot more interesting than the career surveys that I did in the classroom when I was a kid. So kudos to you and the school district for putting that on. That's something that's been going on for years, happening again September 30th. But this year, the school district has been receptive to opening the doors and making it open to the public, as you said. So, you know, we know at the chamber that our members and businesses in the community are struggling to find workers. So the job fair is going to be open to the public, right?
Correct. What we're planning right now is 3 until 6 on that same day, September 30th. We are going to hold a career fair where people from the public can come in. They can walk around, get information about companies, or hopefully actually hold an interview with the company. So we will have private classrooms where this employer can take in someone if they're interested, look over their resume. So that's something that I would definitely suggest if you're coming, is to have some sort of resume with you, and be able to interview you. And hopefully we have some people walk out with jobs after that.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
It would be, yes.
And you've already got some great employers lined up. Can you talk a little bit about who's committed to being here and what kind of opportunities do they offer here locally?
Yeah, so we don't just have restaurants coming. We actually have some places with manufacturing. So the level is not just for your 18-year-olds to 25 who are going to college. It's actually going to be a career fair where people can come in and possibly get a real career, making money that can support a family with health insurance and benefits and things like that. So we have everything from restaurants, like I said, to manufacturing, and it's just going to be an opportunity, I feel, that is continually growing. The opportunity for community companies is still open to be able to reserve a table if they would like to. So hopefully we have tons more community members that want to come in and see what we have to offer.
Right, and I think you mentioned healthcare. We've got several
Yes.
healthcare providers here in Harrison, and hopefully some of them will be there with their opportunities. What a great career choice for
Yes.
for students, or even as a second career as
Right.
an adult. So really looking forward to that. So tell me a little bit about, you're being really accommodating, because as we all know, everybody's spread really thin at work. They're
Right.
short-staffed. So do they have to be here all day? Do they have to be here to meet with the students? What does that look like? What are the options?
So companies, they can come whenever they would like. We would ask that if you're coming for the job fair after the hours of school, that hopefully you could be here from 3 until 6, just so that we anticipate maybe a larger group of parents coming in when they're picking up their students from school and being able to look at what jobs are offered and hopefully have that interview opportunity. So we are looking from 3 to 6, hopefully if you are a employer, that you can be here at that time. But during the daytime, employers in our community don't necessarily have to be here, but what they would do is, if they are willing to be here during the school hours, is we will try to set you up as close to the lab that goes with your type of career that you're offering, so that the students could kind of see, okay, so if I went into this lab, this is the kind of job that I could get, and here are some of the benefits that could be given to me through that company.
So Jamie, tell me about, if it seems like it would be beneficial for employers to be here, even if they're not necessarily hiring high school students, maybe they're looking for somebody who's 18 at least, but it would still be beneficial for them to be here and meet the up and coming workforce, right?
Right. So one of the benefits for them to be here is, one, they can make partnerships with Great Oaks. When students are with Great Oaks, they do go out on internships. So that would give them the opportunity to kind of get the cream of the crop from Great Oaks. Or here at the high school, we've started implementing a lot of career opportunities that kids are getting certified for here. So if they came here and they had a table, they would be able to talk to those students and be able to say, hey, why don't you come and to my company? I can train you and be able to get you to where you need to be, along with this education that Harrison's giving you, or the Great Oaks. But you are kind of taking that student who's a sponge right now and being able to train them to be exactly how your company would like it to be. Not have that student go to one company, be there for a year, then try to come over to your company, and then you're trying to train them what you want them to be like, and not what the other company had in mind.
So on the flip side of that, it's great for employers to come in and form those relationships with Great Oaks and the students. But also for the students, what are they looking for? Can you give some insight to our local businesses? What values are important to the up-and-coming workforce?
So I think one of the things with students nowadays, technology is huge. A lot of students think of some of the careers that are offered here in Harrison, because we do have a lot of factories and things like that, as dirty. I'm going to go in and get soot underneath my fingernails, and I'm not going to be able to wear my nice clothes and things like that. Or they're not going to pay me enough to be able to hold a family and a household and things like that. And I know that sounds weird to think kids are actually thinking that while they're in high school, but they hear their parents talk, they see what other careers offer, and the glam and fortune of like having the nice car and the nice suits and all that kind of stuff. That's what the students are looking for. And I know not every job's that way. There's days that I dress up in a nice dress, come into school, and then there's days that I do get to be a little bit more casual. And what the student needs to realize is that every job is that way. Just because you might be a CEO doesn't mean that you're wearing a tailored suit every day, you know, or if you're on the line and you're packaging things, that it's not all dirt and grime that you're working in. So from a student's perspective, I think they want to know what does each company have that they can offer or entice them to want to come to their company. You know, a lot of times we listen to students here at school, what do you want to be when you graduate? You know, incoming freshmen, what do you want to be? I want to be a soccer player. Okay, so, but a career. Like, let's look at a career that you can actually do. You know, and then they're like, well, maybe a doctor. Okay, so you realize that a doctor is going to go to school for how many years and you're going to be in debt and stuff. Oh, I never thought about that. So I think when students are asked that question, and so many times they are at the age of 14, 15, they don't have a realistic view of what companies can offer. So from a student standpoint, I think that's what the companies need to hit is, let me tell you about my company. Let me tell you all the great things that happen at my company. I know there's several companies in Harrison that even offer their employees free lunch, breakfast, dinner, depending on the shift that you work. That doesn't happen at a lot of companies. So I think as a company coming in, and if you're trying to hit students, you have to start thinking on their level. Hey, we have technology that we use. You know, you're using a robotic arm to actually pick up that heavy weight and bend the metal and things like that. Or, you know what, we have food trucks come in once a week that you can come out and be able to participate in. Just all of those things that I think companies, they do a great job at, but they forget to inform the student. So I think that's, if you're hitting a student at what can you get them to be interested in, yeah, talk about your company, but also give all those incentives that you have to offer there and the high technology that you do use now. That back in the day when maybe their grandparents or somebody worked in a factory, they were like, oh, it's awful, my back hurts, you know, things like that. So
Right. And even if you're not recruiting these high school students to come work for you now, bear in mind that they are going to be looking for a job, you know, 3 to 4 years out.
Right.
You know, a lot of them are finding different pathways to success besides going straight into college, right?
Correct.
And I know that's been a big initiative for the school district. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that's been a huge success point for the school district and the students themselves.
Correct. So about 3 or 4 years ago, we met with the chamber, the city, churches, local businesses, and then the school was part of it. And one of the things that kept being brought up was that the school was not preparing students to be successful after high school. All we were pushing was college. And when we came back to school and we took the notes and stuff and we sat down, we're like, they're absolutely right. All we are doing is, hey, you've got to go to college to be able to have a good career and then have a family and all that kind of stuff. But we never thought about the fact that a lot of students, one, might not be able to afford to go to college. Two, even though you get that great job, now you're in debt. So now you're really not making what we kind of told you were going to be making. So along with a group of us from the high school here, we decided to sit down and start looking into different industries. Again, here in Harrison, a huge industry is manufacturing. So we were able to bring in advanced manufacturing, and it's a class that they would get credentials in to be able to go and work on the line, and not necessarily like being the person that's packaging things, but go in, be able to look at machinery. If it breaks down, be able to fix it and things like that. So we've also implemented from there, we started implementing an IT program. We've always had robotics, but we kind of amped up the robotics. We have a business department. We have a health department. And now something exciting is that we're doing a round robin over in the junior high where kids will be able to explore many careers within about 20 weeks. They get to explore different careers, building things from the ground up and kind of seeing what their interests may be in before they get to the high school. So once they graduate, the nice thing is hopefully they have enough credentialing that they might be able to go to a tech school and be able to not even have to do the full 2 years of tech programming, but maybe only one, and then be out into the workforce and getting paid what some of us, for example, me with my college debt and stuff, we didn't make until 16, 17 years into our career. So that's where we're really trying to push and show kids, like, companies are willing to also pay for your education or to help further your education in whatever they do at the company. So that's kind of been our incentive. We ran with what the community told us, and we're super excited because we're starting to see the return in our investment by kids being interested in staying local and staying with their community.
That is fantastic. What a great success story.
Thank you.
So Jamie, the job fair is coming up September 30th. If employers haven't booked their space, can they still contact you?
Absolutely. They can contact me here, jamie.johnson@southwestschools, with an S on the end of schools.org, or they can call up here, and the secretaries are great. They'll make sure that a message gets to me, and then I can contact the company back and get a table set up. The only thing that I would need to do when we contact them back is find out if they're coming for the CTE day, if they need electric or not. That's the only other thing that we would have to find out.
Great. And then for the public, the job seekers out there, what do they need to know about coming out to the Harrison Job Fair?
So a couple things that I would suggest is dress for success. Make sure you're not coming in your pajamas. Make sure your hair's done because, like I said before, we're hoping that companies have someone come by and say, hey, your resume looks great. Why don't you come on in for an interview, and then you might be walking out with a brand new job. So definitely dressing for success is number one. Number two, having some sort of resume. Making sure that you have everything that you might need for an employer to look over or ask you questions on. And then hopefully we'll be sending out on social media a list of companies that are coming, so that then my third thing that I would say is maybe do a little research into the ones that you might be interested in. So when you sit down for that interview and they ask you questions, you have some background knowledge on the company.
Mark your calendar for the Harrison Job Fair, September 30th.